Hello? Is anyone there? Anna yelled out, her voice echoing in the pitch-dark room. Shivers went down her spine as a door opened and a sudden burst of wind swept the room. She jerked her head towards the approaching footsteps. Hello, Anna. The disembodied voice struck fear into the core of Anna's heart. Who are you? Anna blurted out angrily, covering up her fear. As someone who was not afraid of anyone, she was surprised that her heart was quivering. Nevertheless, something inside her could not ignore the bravery she had always possessed. Answer me, she yelled as the footsteps came closer. Then she heard a gathering of creepy voices say, We've been waiting for you, Anna. Suddenly, something grabbed her arm, squeezing it tightly. Take your clammy hands off me, bellowed Anna, forcefully freeing herself from its grasp. The creature shifted slightly, causing the light from the open door to illuminate its body. Anna's jaw dropped as she gazed in horror at the half-man, half-animal. It had two straight horns protruding from the top of his bald, flat head. His yellow, sharp teeth bulged from his nose's base. The monster's black eyes with deep, red irises stared straight into Anna's soul. Ah! Anna screamed as she sat upright in her bed, sweat dripping from her pores. It only took a moment before she realized she was safe and sound in her own room. Her door sang out as it collided with the wall. Anna's mom, Myra, burst through the entrance wielding a steel bat as she was draped in her navy blue pajamas. The half-asleep beauty had her kinky curls piled upon the top of her head as though a pineapple, her light brown eyes glistening with terror for her daughter. Myra was intimidating yet comical as she fought off her imaginary intruders. Quickly scanning the room, the answer to her question was known. However, being a mom, she had to ask.
Are you okay?
Wearily, Anna nodded her head. Anna, still visibly shaken, changed into her light blue button-down blouse and black skirt, tied up her kinky brown hair into a thick ponytail, and walked downstairs. Anna plopped down on her chair as her mom made her favorite breakfast, pancakes, turkey bacon, and eggs, which was what she needed to start her day.
I want you to come straight home today after school. We should leave for the airport a little early so we don't hit that ridiculous traffic.
Anna's mother said as Anna happily digged into her butter and maple syrup laced pancake. Sure thing, Mom, she answered as soon as she was able to speak. Anna's dream was still in the back of her head, but spending the summer with her dad replaced her fear with joy. Because Anna's dad lived so far away, this was a rare treat. Her father has moved on and remarried, and her mom has moved on as well, dating the occasional boyfriend, and this one name was Joe. Anna really liked Joe, and she knew her mom wouldn't be so lonely with him around. After breakfast, she quickly brushed her teeth, washed her hands, grabbed her backpack, and hurried onto the bus stop. Anna's mom quickly followed out the door behind her. Myra quickly caught up with her daughter and asked if she wanted a ride to school, but Anna shook her head no and said thanks. Myra drove off, catching sight of the reason why Anna turned down her ride to school. She smiled and waved at Lily, Anna's best friend since second grade.
Hey, Anna.
Hey, Lil. Oh my god. You still have those dingy red high tops? When are you gonna get rid of those?
Finally, it's the last day of school. Can you believe it?
Lily asked, clearly ignoring Anna's remark. Nope, I thought school would never end, smirked Anna.
But this sweetness turned sour since you're leaving me.
Lily pouted. I'm sorry, Anna replied, but deep down inside, they both knew she wasn't telling the truth. Lily knew that Anna always looked forward to seeing her dad.
It's okay. I wouldn't want to be the one to keep you from your...
Can we just drop it? Anna interjected.
Okay.
Lily said, caving in, and the two continued their walk in silence. Soon, their peace was interrupted by an unpleasant but familiar voice.
What's up, losers?
It questioned. Rolling her eyes, Anna turned to meet the gaze of Skylar White. To say Anna disliked this girl was a huge understatement. Rivals since probably the day they were born. Skylar's waist-length, dirty blonde, voluminous hair contrasted Anna's dark skin and gravity-defying curls. Skylar despised everything about Anna, from her clothes even to her height. With a sly, patronizing grin, Skylar abruptly placed her hand on Anna's shoulder and forcefully turned her around.
How dare you ignore me?
She demanded. Why do you taunt me so, Skylar?
'Cause you're such a know-it-all and you think you're better than everyone.
Ugh, grow up, Anna hissed. Skylar could not believe her ears. Normally, Anna would just ignore her taunts. Losing her cool completely, she squared off with Anna. The girls both stood and glared at each other with contempt. Skylar was pulled back by her boyfriend before it could escalate. Matt, which happens to be Lily's brother, yelled, "That's enough, ladies." Skylar became nervous and wanted to crawl into a hole to hide away from Anna's eyes. Quickly, she turned her gaze to the furious Matt. Alternating her frightened stare between her book bag on the ground and Matt, he quickly scrambled and retrieved Skylar's book bag out of the dirt. Gently gripping Skylar's elbow, he escorted her onto the bus. On the bus, everyone was abuzz about how the two finally had an altercation together. Some were on Skylar's side and the others were finally glad that she got a piece of her own medicine. Ignoring what was being said, Anna just sat down looking out the window and trying to cool down. As she calmed down, she just started thinking of her father and began to giggle.
What's so funny?
Anna, returning back to reality, answered, "Just thinking about my dad,"
Oh,
was Lily's only response. Then a creepy silence appeared and stayed with the friends until their arrival at school. Finally at school, Anna took all of her necessary exams, and when the bell finally rang, she hurried to her bus and sat down. Lily stepped on afterwards and was surprised to see her best friend had commandeered a good seat up front. These seats were usually unobtainable because their classes were far away from the buses.
happy about the last day?
Lily said happily. "Yep, and my dad," Anna said with a great big smile still plastered on her face.
Oh, okay.
Lily replied nonchalantly. Anna, noticing her abrupt tone, changed. The girls continued their meaningless conversations until arriving at Lily's house. Then, saying goodbye, Anna thought, "Now, time to see my pop." As Anna opened the door, she heard her mom arguing with someone over the phone. She couldn't quite make out the words, but then she heard her mom yell,
Not again, Mason. Please don't do this again. She was looking forward to seeing you. I'm not telling her this time.
Anna's mom jumped when the front door slammed shut. With a pitying look in her eyes, she handed the phone to an already tearful Anna. Anna sighed and took a deep breath with tears streaming down her face. "Hi, Dad." "Yeah, I understand. Goodbye. I love..." The phone's piercing dial tone cut her off. The air around her became hot and stiff as her itchy, dry throat made it hard to swallow. "I hate him! I absolutely hate him!" As Anna screamed and cried, her mom followed closely behind.
Honey, I'm sorry. What can I do to help you?
"Mom, please. I just want to be left alone." As she heartbrokenly closed the door to her room. Anna's mom stood in the hallway staring at the walls, heart heavy for her daughter's pain. 30 minutes later, a dry, puffy-eyed Anna dialed the number she had dialed many times before. Anna uttered the same sentiments of hate about her father to her best friend. Lily was upset that Anna's father had done this to her again, but she knew she had to be the voice of reason.
I know there has to be a logical reason. That moves me.
"Lily, please! I know you're only trying to help. I just want to be angry right now. Please stop trying to make it better." Lily understood and let Anna vent for the next hour. "Okay, Lily, thanks for listening. I'm starving. I haven't eaten since lunch," Anna confessed after her stomach roared as if a growling lioness. After having a great dinner her mom prepared, Anna took a bath and got ready for bed. Upon opening her eyes, Anna found herself in a strange room with different scenes displayed on each wall. One wall had a field with beautiful flowers that stretched as far as the eye could see. The second wall was that of one of the most bluest of oceans and skies. You couldn't even tell where the ocean ended and the sky began. Wall 3 had a forest with a quaint little cottage with a chimney that was smoking as if someone was sitting by the fireplace. Anna saw only fire featured on the fourth wall. Captivated by the flames, it took Anna a moment to realize the fire was rapidly moving towards her. Help! Help! A woman's voice cried in the darkness. Help! Please help us, Anna! You're the only one! Her heart thumped wildly as if it was dancing to the beat of horror music. She began to recognize a figure in the flames. A woman was engulfed, and although she was crying, she appeared unscathed. Who are you? Are you hurt? Do you need help? The frantic Anna called out. Something emerged behind the woman. What is that? Is that a hand? No, it's claws! Anna thought, horrified. As the claws jerked the woman further into the blaze, she yelled out, Aucpreg! Wait, what? Anna cried out. Instinctively, Anna reached into the blaze. Ouch! Feeling the heat and pain, she jerked it out, only to find herself on the edge of the bed, clinging to her sheets for dear life. Still feeling the pain on her hand, as she rubbed it, she whispered, Aucpreg?